starters in their last 5 games, including down 3 starters against Vandy. They've lost 6 of 7. A&M had lost 6 of 7 before a win against Arkansas at home here 3 days ago, and we're all playing for K, so you're going to see a lot of pink on the uniforms. Kentucky not sporting their typical blue, but trimmed in pink, and A&M gets things going with Jordan Nixon. And now Hoppy, Nixon and Hoppy, both of them from New York, combining to get the first bucket.
Well, Kentucky starting out icing the on-ball screen, not allowing Hoppy to use it. Well, when you do that, you have to close the gap. Hoppy's money from that mid-range.
Yeah, Hoppy transfer from St. John's, where she was a terrific offensive threat. And there's the 3, buried by Jada Walker, the only freshman on this team. But boy, the coaches love her.
Oh, she's such an exciting player. I mean, she has the ability to finish at all 3 levels, and she's added an energy that this Kentucky team needs.
Coming off a career-high 21 at LSU, where she hit 4 threes, 4 out of 5 to be exact. Kayla Wells talked about her. There she is. That is her specialty. Wells coming back, taking advantage of the COVID year, coming off a career-high 30 in her last game against Arkansas, when she also hit 4 threes. Ryan Howard going to the bucket a lot more than she did earlier in her career, and then hustling to keep the ball alive at least momentarily. Outside shot rebounded by Walker, the 5'7" freshman. And that is Jasmine Massengill, the Tennessee transfer, who gets it to Howard. And Olivia Owens, who is a transfer from Maryland, gets the bucket.
One of the things that Kyra Elsie talked to us about was we need 3 or 4 players to score in double figures. We have to do it by committee, take some pressure off of Ryan Howard. And if Olivia Owens can knock that down consistently, that's big. And Jordan Nixon, we talked about the 3-point shot already. A&M is knocking it down from 3. And if you're Kentucky, you know that. You've got to be tighter. You got to have a hand up.
A&M 2 of 3 from distance to take the early 3-point lead. Last year, A&M won the only meeting between these two teams, winning by 17 in College Station. Here's Walker, who's backed away. Shot clock dying. They need something and won't get it, as Nixon was able to stick her hand in and end that possession. Pitts, nice sportsmanship, helps Jada Walker to her feet after a collision. Gary Blair, now in his 19th year at A&M, 37th overall, got his 850th career win against Arkansas, his 50th, yes, half a century coaching over a variety of sports. Started off as a golf coach, had also coached baseball. Kyra Elsie in her 2nd season taking over for Matthew Mitchell. And dealing with a lot of injuries, COVID issues, and she wasn't making any excuses. She says everybody's had to deal with it, and they're looking at this like, hey, let's go 1-0 today. This is the second half of the SEC season. Let's win it. And
you have to break it down into smaller parts. It's just too massive if you look at it as a whole. This is a team who certainly has been challenged, who isn't used to having the kind of challenges that they've had in terms of injuries and COVID issues. And at the same time, the expectations are still very high. And Kyra Elsie is not shying away from that. And the reality of the situation for Kentucky is their chemistry has been affected with lots of different players on and off the floor.
But you know who's not missed a single game this year? The one they can least afford to lose, Ryan Howard, who hit that 3 and then hustled to try to get a steal.
Well, I don't know how you can't be anywhere near Ryan Howard when the ball is coming down the floor, but A&M goes to the zone, a lack of communication, and Ryan Howard gets lost.
Averaging just under 2 threes a game, which leads her team. Destiny Pitts is the best 3-point shooter that Gary Blair says he's ever coached, but she missed that one for the Aggies. Penetration by Massengill and counted. And Coach Elsie said she wants to see more from that from Massengill, more of an offensive mindset.
And she should. I mean, Jasmine Massengill is a player who has the capability to score the basketball and sometimes has reverted herself into the traditional point guard role of facilitating, but she understands the offense. She understands where players need to be. And now Coach Elsie wants her to take more ownership of scoring the basketball.
Owens. Looks like Gianna Edwards, excuse me, who has come in, not starting in this game. She is coming off a 4-game suspension for disciplinary matters. Did play in their last game against LSU. Wells gets inside.
Good pass.
And the block from behind by Aaliyah Patty. Ohio State transfer, boy, and she was open for a couple of seconds before Owens got down there. Massagill stuck her hand in there to force the turnover, and then it couldn't be handled on the other end by Mackenzie Green. Both teams continue their substitutions. Massagill played a couple of years at Tennessee and was an AAU teammate with Ryan Howard, so very familiar with each other and now teammates. Edwards brings that power game.
I mean, it's just a different dimension. You have another player who can stretch the floor, who can attack off the bounce, who can post up. Her versatility and ability to put the ball in the hole is an added dimension. So when she's not on the floor, it really hurts Kentucky offensively.
He was a great player at Utah, was the freshman of the year in the Pac-12. Gets the rebound. She's averaging 15.5 points and 8 rebounds, right behind Ryan Howard in scoring and slightly ahead of her in rebounding per game. Massagill, they leave her alone and she makes them pay.
Well, Texas A&M is going to challenge Jasmine Massagill to knock down those shots. They're going to continue to go under the screen. After she hits a couple, they might have to make an adjustment, but I really like the fact that she's taking that shot.
Yep, making them play honest so that they don't play 4-on-5 basketball, which at times they have when Massagill hasn't been aggressive. That is a charge on Edwards. So Ryan Howard, a lot of buzz around her, around the country as we head towards the draft. We'll have more on her when we come back. Back here at Kentucky, where Ryan Howard has been a star since she set foot on campus, and according to our ESPN expert, she will be the #1 overall pick. And you see Melissa Smith, Shakira Austin, I know you really like her, Naz Hillman, and then Elisa Cunane. Now, what's your take on Ryan Howard? Well, let's see what Rebecca Lobo thinks, and it's hard to argue with A-pluses on all of those
it
categories,
really is.
right?
Size, versatility, star potential. She certainly does have it all. She's improved her skill set. She's improved defensively in terms of urgency on the defensive end and understanding how to play both ends. You know, I think the biggest question for Ryan Howard has been a consistent motor. Like, what is that consistent motor like? It seems really easy for her. It's not, but she makes it look really easy all the time. And at that next level, everybody's going to be AA pluses in terms of the same position that she plays. So what is the motor like? You know, how does she continue to grow her game, sense of urgency every possession? You see her numbers. I mean, it's just incredible. The way she's been the last 6 games, she's continued to take it to another level offensively.
And Coach Elsie said she's had some conversations with Ryan over the years and told her, hey, in order to, if you want to be the #1 pick, you have to go hard defensively every time, which you reference. We know she can do this. Did miss the 3 that time. But that has been the question sometimes. You mentioned the motor, and Ryan Howard is flat out a nice kid.
Oh, yeah.
And we know people who are nice kids, but when they go between those lines, they are dogs.
Yes.
And so
yes.
she maybe needs a little bit of that in her.
And you know, she might not exemplify what we see as a dog by just watching her, but it's the, you know, getting in the gym, making sure that you're getting better, playing with a sense of urgency every single possession. That consistency matters, and you don't just want to be the #1 pick. Like, you want to be one of the greatest, right? Like, there are lots of first-round draft picks that don't even make teams. When you're talking about #1 pick, the expectation is different.
There are so few jobs in the WNBA. Emma King called for that personal that sends Hoppy to the line to complete the 3-point play. Just 12 teams, many teams now just carrying 11 players because of the salary cap implications, so fewer than 144 jobs. And you know, you played in that league, coached in that league, you got to be so good to stick.
You do, and you know, there's a difference in getting into the WNBA and staying in the WNBA and having a long career, and that's why you see players who are exceptional and have been exceptional, they continue to find the edge.
Edwards continuing to make a difference on defense. King missing from the outside. Both teams shooting 50% so far. And now over 50% as Jordan Nixon nails one. Her second season with A&M, had a terrific NCAA tournament last year with back-to-back 21-point and then 35-point games. Howard bottled up for a second by Wells, but found space.
And that's one of the things that she can do so well. I mean, her pace, she doesn't really get rushed. She takes time to evaluate. She creates separation, and she's so long and has that high release, she can shoot over defenders.
Had a triple-double earlier this year, the 3rd Kentucky player to ever do that. Wells a little off balance, can't get it. And now this is one thing Jada Walker can do, get it and go. Coach Elsie says she's got one speed, and that's it.
You have to stop the ball in transition. You know, both of these coaches, Pam, talked to us about the fact that, you know, we're not where we have been in the past defensively. Maybe a little better and more skilled offensively, but not where we've been in the past defensively. And that's an example. You have to stop the ball in transition, and Jada Walker takes advantage.
Yeah, it certainly has been the bread and butter of both of these programs for so long. 3 Wildcats will sub in with the next whistle. Walker slowed it down there.
Yeah, and that was, she missed Ryan Howard. I mean, Ryan Howard's not going to be open for very long. You got to be able to deliver it when she's open and anticipate. Have an eye on her at all times.
They trap her over by the sideline, but Edwards showing that she can escape. Now A&M on the run, 2-on-3, so Nixon waits for some help. And then it's thrown away. Howard 2-on-1 with Walker, unselfish. Jada Walker with 9 points. That's the Kentucky lead. A&M takes a timeout. Welcome back, Kentucky, with that 9-point lead over Texas A&M. Let's see how they're doing it.
Well, Ryan Howard's just been terrific. You see she comes off of the screen, she uses the shot fake, takes her time, is poised, doesn't get rushed, and you see the step back. And then in transition, a willing passer. She knows Jada Walker is running with her. She finds Walker, who has had 6 of Kentucky's last 8 points on this run.
Ryan is second on this team in assists behind Walker, the freshman. They told she had a triple-double this season. Rebound taken down by Owens. Robin Benton not available again for Kentucky. She is out with an ankle injury. Last played against Tennessee. Still listed as day-to-day, but not available. That's a nice block by Patty. Wells missed everything. King settles it down now to Massengill. Massengill continues to be aggressive with the basketball.
Yeah, that's a really good option for Jasmine Massengill. When you have a high ball screen, everybody else is spaced out on the floor. If you can give her space to operate, she's making plays right now in that 2-man.
Massengill already with 6 points. Only averages 7. It's an 8-0 UK run. That 3 rimmed out.
With cancer in their lifetime. And being able to support cancer research, help fund cancer research is so important. So, you know, we certainly urge and encourage anyone who can donate to donate. And I'm going to tell you one of my favorite Yowisms, that never let the urgent get in the way of the important.
Yeah.
Something that is certainly, as we get older, we begin to recognize.
Yeah, there certainly is a difference as the Aggies come up with a nice defensive stand there. Pam Ward and Steph White joining you from Lexington. Kentucky scoring 26 points in the first quarter, which is one shy of their season high of 27 against LaSalle. You see Kentucky and A&M both with pink on their uniforms to honor Kay Yao, who was such an inspiration. Had the honor of covering her quite a bit when she was the legendary head coach at NC State. I'll never forget a regional they had at Fresno when she was just coming off of her treatment, and most people would still be in bed.
Yes.
She was out there coaching them up, and just continues to be an inspiration. We want to say to all the survivors out there too watching, you know, that this day is for them too, because they're part of this legacy as well. All of this great research that has helped a lot of people.
And the Survivor March is always, you know, one of the most impactful things that happens on Play for K Day at each university. It's really incredible to see these women and celebrate these women.
Howard lost the handle, and then he got an inadvertent arm in the face. Block with authority by Owens. And now Treasure Hunt is coming off the court. She got nicked somehow. So Brianna Edwards comes in for her.
Hoppy just drives in and looks like, yeah, came right across Treasure Hunt on the follow through.
She appears to be all right, walking near the bench. Shot clock now in single digits. Owens just lowered her head. Seems a good defense from Aaliyah Patty, the Ohio State transfer, first year at Texas A&M. They're starting a couple of years for the Buckeyes. 2 minutes in, neither team I should say has scored. That was perhaps a carry by Nixon. Now the post up, good defense by Edwards. The ball stays with the Aggies after Patty could not convert.
Oh, you can't go under that on Destiny Pitts. If that pass would have been able to get delivered, that's a 3.
Yep, number 3 for A&M. One of the best three-point shooters out there. Started her career at the University of Minnesota. Was only there 2.5 years and is one of the best in Minnesota history as far as hitting threes.
You see right now the pace is slowed down.
Yes.
And you know, A&M's a team that wants to get up and down. Kentucky certainly in timely fashion want to get up and down when they can, but depth is not in their favor, so they want to try to slow this basketball game down.
Gosh, and Kayla Wells made a nice move to get to the rim, but couldn't finish. Massengill sets things up. Howard to her right. Took the shot, didn't get the roll. Nixon hit the deck hard for the Aggies, but she appears to be okay. Pitts lost her headband. Nixon! A little bit out of control. Big ACC Big 12 Big Monday doubleheader coming your way. This is men's basketball at 7 Eastern. Duke, who just kind of stomped North Carolina, taking on the University of Virginia at Cameron, and then it's Kansas. They're number 10 against number 23 Texas in Austin. Both games on ESPN and the ESPN app.
You kind of minimize that kind of stomp.
Kind of stomped, yeah. Was a stompage? Would you say a full?
I would say it was a full-blown stompage.
Yes. Last time that Coach K will be coaching in Chapel Hill. Off the turnover. Oh boy, that's a missed opportunity.
Yes, it sure is. And you can see there are times when Kentucky's spacing just isn't quite right. You know, looking to come off of on-ball screens and players are standing right there. When their spacing is good, they're getting good high percentage looks. Not everybody on the same page.
Yeah, a lot of new faces, players in and out of the lineup this year. And a foul drawn. Sydney Roby will head to the free throw line. Speaking of new faces, she is a transfer from Miami. Played for Katie Meyer down there for a couple of years. Her first year with A&M. That foul was on Massengill, her first.
We were talking to Gary Blair about all the new faces and the transfer portal, and you know, he was real honest. Like, it's either hit or miss, and it is. And I think in this era of the transfer portal, it is going to be hit and miss. And even more important for players to do their due diligence and make sure that when you go somewhere, it's a place that you're going to fit and it's going to fit you.
And it's almost like perpetual free agency, isn't it?
It is. It is. And of course, the concern is that it certainly becomes full-fledged free agency.
Yeah.
Including tampering rules and such.
Yes. And there, you know, we've talked to coaches throughout the season who have talked about that. The vultures are out there. You just gotta be wary. It's changed so much, and again, Gary Blair retiring after this season. I'm sure he will miss none of that.
No.
Good look inside. Edwards couldn't finish.
Well, we've had quite a few possessions now for Kentucky offensively in a row where Ryan Howard hasn't gotten a shot. And if you don't get the ball to her, you know, for a jump shot, she needs the ball in her hands to play in a two-man game.
Yeah, Kentucky's not scored in this quarter after scoring a whopping 26 to start things off. Kayla Wells. Close, but not getting it. Edwards coming up at the block. There's Howard, finally touching the basketball. Well, she just looks like a ball player. That great length.
And this is one of those kind of growing experiences right here. So recognize the mismatch. Jordan Nixon was guarding Dreana Edwards down low. Bring it back. Exploit that mismatch.
But instead, an offensive foul on Leveretter. Sophomore for Blythewood, South Carolina. Emma King, number 34 for Kentucky. Got to look at her, coming off a career-high 34 minutes in the game at LSU. A lot of players getting extended minutes with certain injuries. And Wells, after missing from the outside the last couple of times, drove to the bucket.
And that was really good execution and decision-making by Jordan Nixon.
Edwards back rims it. Nixon got rid of it right before Ryan Howard was about to poach. Now Kayla Wells. Roby fighting for the rebound. Fans here wanting an over-the-back call as she just took it away from Emma King. That's the kind of ball player Roby is, just a tough rebounder.
She sure is. Active on the offensive glass, does a good job of getting in there. Strong finish with the left hand.
Up on the E-Trade halftime report, look who's here. Andy Landers will join me, the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. We're talking historic rivalries, next chapters. But first, 52% from the field for the Wildcats, coach, but they're holding on to just a 6-point lead.
Yeah, but you know the thing that's impressive about Kentucky today, it's not all Ryan Howard. It's balanced scoring. Look good.
All right, and we've got chapter 25, the 25th meeting between UConn and Tennessee. B, what you seeing so far?
Well, Caroline Ducharme out because of illness, so AZ Flood gets her first start of the season, 6 points, playing well.
Welcome back. Kentucky leading Texas A&M 26-20, but Kentucky has not scored in this quarter. You look at Ryan Howard with 5 points, and we had a really up and down kind of exciting first quarter, the antithesis of same here in the second quarter.
It sure is, and for Kentucky right now, I think Ryan Howard has to get more touches. She doesn't have to necessarily shoot it, although it would be helpful for them if she got shot attempts, but she has to have the ball in her hands because the defense is giving her all of their attention. And she will not only score the basketball, but she's a willing and able passer as well and make everybody else better.
Drive comes up short. Rebound by Leveretter. That's Walker, the freshman point guard, trying to get it into Edwards. Too chancy, and it's a turnover. Walker protesting along with head coach Kara Elsie. Second year had been an assistant under Matthew Mitchell, who I hear is living the good life. As is Andy Landers back in the studio.
Yes, welcome back, Coach Landers.
Yeah. Nice to have him back. Wells drives right through the lane. The rebound for Edwards. Roby being called for the reach-in foul.
Well, Pam, in the first quarter, what Kentucky was doing so well, they were creating turnovers. 6 turnovers. They were able to score in transition. We saw the advantage that they have in terms of points in the paint, 14-8. That was coming because they were playing with pace. They were turning A&M over. They were getting defensive rebounds, and they were pushing in transition. They have not been able to do that. And this is a team that's really struggled offensively in the half court.
Ryan Howard bringing the ball up. Kentucky's still looking, believe it or not, for its first points of the quarter, and we're 7 minutes in. And a charge. They got Walker. Her first.
And what a read by Jordan Nixon. I mean, taking advantage. Jada Walker attacking the paint, looking for somebody to get the ball to, and couldn't quite do it. And Nixon just gets in there, beats her to the spot, and takes the charge.
Nixon, kid from New York City, second year at A&M after starting things out at Notre Dame. With the ball now. Picks up her dribble. Malone gets it back to her. A discombobulated possession. Pitts was out on the three-point line calling for it. Kentucky 0 for 6 in this quarter. And maybe finally a chance to get some points with Edwards drawing the foul. Cassidy Pitts has just picked up her second personal for A&M. Pitts has yet to score. 0 for 4 from the floor for the Aggies, averaging 11 points per game. Now Edwards at the line. SEC Big Ten Super Tuesday. Men's doubleheader coming your way Tuesday at 7 Eastern time as Illinois takes on Kentucky, or Illinois Purdue, and then it's Kentucky South Carolina. So that doubleheader coming your way on the ESPN family of networks and the ESPN app. And another charge drawn by the Aggies.
And Pam, that's a flop. You know, that is one of those plays. I mean, she barely touched her, and you know there are a lot of savvy guards who get in front of post players as they're running the floor. And Treasure Hunt saw her there. She stopped. Jordan Nixon pulling a little veteran move right there. And
good to see Hunt back in the game. Took a hard knock earlier on. Is that something that's coached? Is that something you go through in practice?
I don't know.
Let's flop today.
A lot of players just naturally do that. You know, it takes time out of practice. I'm sure there are plenty of other things that coaches need to worry about in practice other than working on flopping.
And give all the credit to Driana Edwards for that. She forced the turnover, ran the floor, and was rewarded with the basket. The first field goal for Kentucky in this quarter. And even with that, A&M's on a 3-minute scoring drought, and they're down 10.
Well, Dre'Ana Edwards just makes a difference on the floor for Kentucky when she's out there. She's got a high energy level, does a good job of coming over on the double team, getting a hand on the ball, and great recognition by Massengill to reward her for running the floor.
Oh, and Rebecca Lobo would say the bigs always want to be rewarded for running the floor.
And they should be.
Yes.
They have to run basically inline to inline every time down the floor. And if somebody's going to turn on the jets and get down there and get position, you need to reward them and give them the ball.
So Edwards making an impact. She's from Compton, California. 4 20-point games this season, had 5 straight double-doubles at one point. The last time a Wildcat did that, Evelyn Akator. We remember her back in 2016.
Evelyn Akator was a terrific player here at Kentucky. Matthew Mitchell had those teams, the 94 feet of dread. They would just get after you and get in you the entire possession.
A&M having some offensive issues of their own. Jordan Nixon can't get it. Rebound Howard, here she goes. Wants the ball back, and Hunt didn't even look at it. Now Hunt scored, but should she at least have looked at Ryan Howard?
I mean, Ryan Howard is an All-American. Got to give her a look.
Now Treasure Hunt is an All-American when it comes to names.
Yes, she is, yes.
But Ryan Howard.
Yeah, I mean, it is a really good thing for Kentucky that they're getting production from multiple players. You still have to just always have an eye on Ryan Howard. She's not going to be wide open that many times in a ball game.
It's a 6-0 UK run. That missed everything.
You know, but both of these teams right now, offensively, the ball's just getting stuck a lot. We're not seeing ball reversals. We're not seeing multiple people touch the ball. You know, when it gets moving, you get great shots. Might have good shots early in the possession with 1 or 2 people touching it, but you get great shots at the end of the possession when it gets moving.
A&M has more turnovers than made field goals this afternoon. As we go inside 30 seconds in the first half, that's another charge. King hit the deck.
Well, Hoppy looking to attack off of the switch. It's a good idea, but just uses that left arm to push off. Right call by the official.
A legitimate charge on Hoppy. So the shot clock is off. Massengill bringing it up. Ryan Howard now at the top of the key. Hunt gets inside, missed, got her own rebound, and was blocked. A&M has to hurry. Ball taken away by Edwards, can't get it to go. As we hit the half, Kentucky with a 12-point lead. Let's go back. Let's repeat that. Didn't take a single shot in the second quarter.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, 4 shot attempts, and you see the numbers right there. And the thing about Ryan Howard is that whether she shoots the ball or not, she demands so much attention. Every scouting report is aimed at stopping her. So she has to be involved in the action. Get the ball in her hands, whether it's on the front side or the back side. Let her draw that attention and find her open teammates.
2 teams combined for only 11 points in the second quarter after Kentucky scored 26 in the first quarter. Roby bottled up. Got it out of trouble. 3 jacked up and hit by Hoppy, who had 5 points in the first half. A&M shooting just 31% for the game. Here's Howard. Gets the screen, takes the shot. First one since the first quarter, off the mark, and Roby rebounds. Hoppy, can she do it from the other side? In and out. Rebound by Owens. That is just a sloppy turnover.
Well, we see Q Hoppy on the other end. Shot fake, little side dribble, knocks down the 3. And again, you know, both of these teams, when they're at their best, they're scoring the basketball. Both of these teams have struggled defensively. A&M has gotten better as the season has progressed. Kentucky last or near last in the league in almost every defensive statistical category right now.
Pitts, there's the three-point specialist getting her first points of the game. Took 4 shots, missed them all in the first half. Last year led the SEC, was 5th in the country in three-point percentage. Now going inside, that works. The Hunt.
I like that look. Treasure Hunt certainly has the advantage with Destiny Pitts defending her in the post.
Big time height advantage, and now going inside on the other end, it's Roby who's fouled by Hunt.
The ball goes inside. A good job of getting position by Roby.
Edwards coming in for Olivia Owens, who appropriately is 00, 0-0 for Olivia Owens. Roby 1 of 2 from the line so far. Rebound taken down by Edwards, checking back into the game, coming off the bench today.
You see how slow that is developing right there? That's an opportunity for Massengill to get that handoff and come right off an on-ball screen. That's really tough action to defend. But when you stop and slow down, the defense gets to recover. They get to set.
Nice drive by Hoppy, and yeah, Steph was calling for a timeout, and Kyra Elsie agrees. A&M just down 4.
Well, you have to respect A&M's ability to shoot the three-point shot. Roby got the shot fake, attacked, scored an easy 2 in the paint. Texas A&M on a 10-2 run to start the second half. Well, they got it done because they do what they do best. Knock it down from the three-point line. Q Roby hits a 3, running in transition. Sydney Roby is rewarded. Destiny Pitts from 3 as well. And Hoppy again. She had just hit a 3. That time shot fake, getting to the rim. Right now, Texas A&M is really asserting themselves on the offensive end of the floor, and Kentucky needs to find an answer.
Yeah, they certainly do on the offensive end, and so far in the third quarter, A&M has hit twice as many field goals as they did in the second quarter. They're 4 of 5, and a 12-point lead has been sliced to 4. The only regular season matchup between these two squads. Ryan Howard passing it up. And a whistle and a travel.
And Pam, that timing was off just a bit. On the catch, Jasmine Massengill had Edwards on the post-up. And when you hold it for another second or 2, it goes away. There's no more advantage.
Is that something you could just coach into them, or just know to be aware of that urgency? Or
well, I think a lot of it's reps.
Especially this late in the season.
I think a lot of it's reps. You know, Jasmine Massengill has been in and out of the lineup. Edwards has been in and out of the lineup, in and out of practice. I mean, a lot of it's reps and timing and understanding what you're trying to get out of each play.
Nixon beats everybody down the floor. And just like that, it's a 2-point ball game. Kentucky has only scored 8 points since their 26-point first quarter. Howard gets doubled.
And that was great help by Hoppy. Being in the right spot, showing herself.
Something that Coach Gary Blair and his staff have been working on to get Hoppy to be more defensively engaged. Howard jacks it up with the shot clock winding down. Not a great offensive possession there again for UK. They haven't scored in over 2 minutes. A&M getting hot and hit 4 of their last 5 shots. Some pressure from the Wildcats, and it's just turned around and threw it up there. Massengill spots up. Pitt's able to get the easy rebound. Open look, you don't want to leave Destiny Pitts open, and A&M leads this game for the first time since it was 8-5, 2 minutes in.
That was a great extra pass by Hoppy, too. But you can see, again, we talked about this in the open pan. Both of these teams, their back is against the wall. It is desperation time. Second half of SEC play. If you're going to find a way to bounce back, it has to be night after night. And A&M came out this second half with a lot of energy.
A&M has lost 6 of their last 7, including 2 in a row. Howard short. Gets the second chance. No shot. Jada Walker is shaken up. Brian Garland, Luis Gonzalez, and Natasha Kamey are officials this afternoon.
Well, great extra pass by Hoppy. Offensively, A&M moving the basketball, getting multiple players with touches, and Pitts knocks down the 3.
Pitts was the unanimous Big Ten Freshman of the Year back in 2018. A couple of years at Minnesota. And just as we said earlier, Coach Blair says she might be the best three-point shooter he's ever had. Massengill with the miss. And UK is not getting a lot of offensive rebounds. In fact, each team only has 3 on the game. Roby posting up Edwards. A little one-handed turnaround falls short. As we go to a timeout, Gary Blair's team is up 1. We will talk more about the legendary coach who is retiring after this season. He got a nice gift today.
He sure did.
The end of October, Gary Blair announced his retirement. There's his former assistant, Vic Shaver. He's gotten gifts. There's some boots from Texas. And Johnny Harris, also another former assistant. Yes, at Auburn, but he's a Cowboy fan, so she scored a signed Dak Prescott jersey. Kim Mulkey with a bat, a baseball bat, and Kelly Harper, a little Tennessee gift basket. And here's a good one. That's a bourbon barrel top with a painting of Coach Blair with his championship trophy, and perhaps most importantly, a bottle of bourbon with his own name on the label.
Yeah, him on his farewell tour has received a lot of different gifts from multiple people and multiple universities. As you see it right there, he's an avid golfer as well, so the golf balls from South Carolina. But I can't think of more fitting tributes for Gary Blair, the impact he's had on this game, the impact he's had in the lives of so many people that he's coached and mentored.
And coaches that have, we just saw some from his coaching tree. A record player is a big music and movie guy. And I wondered, the pie at Missouri, very special pie. Pitts missing it. Howard gets the rebound.
And you know, I played for Gary Blair 1 year in USA Basketball Sports Festival when they had those back in the day.
When you were in high school?
When I was in high school, yeah. He was one of the first coaches that really got on me in the locker room at halftime.
Do you remember what he said?
Yeah, I'm not sure I can repeat that on the air.
Just play harder?
You can't act like you're in high school anymore, essentially. Yes.
Even though you were in high school?
Even though I was in high school.
Details.
Yeah, that's right.
Gary Blair, what a legacy he has left. And he said he would like his legacy to be, among other things, I did it the right way. Very well-respected guy who is retiring after the season. Hoppy. Good defense to shut her down right before the shot clock went off. Now Massengill has Ryan Howard to her right, but takes it in all by herself. Massengill looks like she's in terrific shape too. That's a much-needed field goal. UK has hit only 1 of its last 8 shots. Meanwhile, A&M's scoring drought has almost reached 3 minutes. And a foul on King. Well, Emma King, who's from Stanford, Kentucky, grew up a Kentucky fan. Boy, what a dream come true. Playing for the team you grew up rooting for. Now she heads to the bench. There's a lot of little girls, I'm sure, in Kentucky who'd like to come here. Or Louisville. Don't want Jeff Walls to get a little snippy with me on that one. Here's Poppy at the line. Coming up later on ESPN in the app, we'll have the NBA. How about Trae Young? Scores like nobody's business, and the Red Hot Hawks in Dallas to take on Luka and the Mavs. 6 Eastern, 5 Central. Dallas sits in 5th in the West. Check it out. The NBA. Love Trae Young.
Luka, who also scores like nobody's business,
Yes.
just in a different way than Trae Young.
Yeah. And I've seen Trae Young in person. Ryan Howard, finally.
And I think to get Ryan Howard some shots and some looks, she is going to have to initiate offense. The ball's not getting to the backside to get her a touch, and I like her in that horn set.
Her first point since the first quarter for Ryan Howard. Go ahead.
It still baffles my mind that she didn't have a shot attempt in the second quarter.
Hunt with the miss.
Well, we know that Ryan Howard is so dangerous with the ball in her hands, and she's bringing the ball down in transition, gets the screen. And if you give her space, she does such a good job of creating that separation. And again, her length allows her to shoot over the top of defenders. But I'll bet she's going to have the ball in her hands a lot more at the end of this quarter and into the fourth.
Well, that would be a good strategy. Best player on the floor. Nice post move by Patty.
Aaliyah Patty has given Texas A&M some really good minutes. She got a bucket right there, but she's been incredible on the defensive end of the floor with 3 block shots.
Really good rebounder coming off a career high 19 boards in their last game, a big win against Arkansas. Wells has just committed her first foul.
You know, we talk about Patty being an impact on the defensive end of the floor. It's easy to forget sometimes what Texas A&M lost on the defensive floor. I mean, Sierra Johnson inside, India Jones, Aaliyah Wilson, who's a terrific two-way player for Gary Blair. They lost a lot of offensive production, but a whole lot of defensive intensity as well.
And that was one of the things they've always been known for. Edwards coming over to force the turnover. Massengill trying to get it back to Edwards. Flits off the rim. Another rebound for Patty. Poppy can't get it to go. Howard hunts down the rebound. Guarded by Pitts, and Wells comes over to help on the trap. Edwards left all alone, missed the 3. Edwards has only hit 12 threes all season. As we approach 40 seconds to go in the third quarter. Wells with the miss, long rebound. Goes over towards the bench. As Patty has a conversation with Coach Blair. And Wells heading to the bench for A&M. Kayla with 7 points. Poppy leading the way for them with 12. Here's Ryan Howard. Massengill posting up. Hunt! There's the 3.
I like that play for Kentucky, looking to exploit the mismatch down low. When a double team comes, find your open teammate.
For 6-3 of the season. Can A&M get a shot off? No. And was unable to be with the team. She said the hardest part was missing senior day, because that's when you kind of have that culmination of you going from baby freshmen to adults. But an inspiring story with Courtney Jones.
Yeah, and listening to her story, I mean, just her ability now, she said, to empathize with players who are going through scary situations. And of course, you know, anyone who is able to help in our call to action, we certainly encourage you to do that. Every minute, one woman is diagnosed with cancer. Every minute. It's incredible, and we appreciate her sharing her story with us.
Absolutely, and remember the K-Yow Fund is for all women's cancers, and a big initiative for the legendary, and talk about empathy, a great person in K-Yow. As this fourth quarter, we got ourselves a ball game. Let's see if we can have a nice finish. Ryan Howard getting that three. She finally gets into double figures, but Pitts answers. Pardon me, that's Jordan Nixon who answered on the other end. Kayla Wells bodied up Ryan Howard.
Terrific execution out of the out-of-bounds play. Ryan Howard doesn't need much space. Has enough to let it fly from there. And then Jordan Nixon knocks it down on the other end, has the answer.
Second three of the game for both Howard and Nixon. Howard on the Wooden late season list for National Player of the Year. Owens driving in and just lost the ball. Kentucky leading by 2, even though they only scored a grand total of 15 points between the second and third quarters. Nixon's pass somehow got all the way through to Johnson.
Every once in a while, you get a bit lucky, Pam.
Yeah. That had turnover written all over it. Patty off the rim. No foul on the follow attempt by Johnson. I'd kind of like to see Ryan Howard take over this fourth quarter a little bit.
Well, we certainly know she's capable. I mean, she's had some incredible second halves. And there are times where it's almost like she waits until that second half.
Foul on Owens.
Side pick and roll happening right there. Olivia Owens is moving through the ball. I don't like that call. I mean, we talk about freedom of movement. You know, she slid in there at the last minute to Johnson and really didn't even beat her to the spot or establish position.
Poppy grabbed by King out on the perimeter.
Yeah, and I think that's a matchup right there that Texas A&M can exploit. Get Hoppy the ball, allow her to attack Emma King and make a play.
King getting a lot of playing time. We haven't mentioned Blair Green, who has been out all year, ruptured her Achilles in a blue-white scrimmage back in late October. Certainly would have been a key component for this team, was shooting the ball extremely well. They were very excited. Talked to Gail Gestencourt, one of the assistants. She was very excited, and then she got hurt, so they've been playing without her all year.
Well, when you think about, you know, certainly they've known Blair Green wasn't going to be on the floor, but then you have no Robin Benton. Those two players stretched the floor for Ryan Howard to go to work. And you take away those shooters and the ability to spread the defense, and everybody just focuses on Ryan Howard.
Yep.
And you take your chances with everyone else.
Yeah, you're right. Pardon me, Benton. Just playing limited games, 13 games, got into double figures in the first 9. Missing her. She's day-to-day with an ankle, unavailable today. Howard rebound. 7th rebound for Ryan. Seven minutes to go, all the way across court. Massengill guarded out there by Hoppy. Cut off by Patty.
Every time somebody touches the ball, they put it on the floor. Every time. It just if you're not putting it on the floor with a purpose, it just allows the defense to recover. So you're taking away every advantage that you have.
5 seconds to shoot. Howard inbounds. Not in time. That extra pass by Hunt ate up the clock. That's 18 turnovers now for the Wildcats.
We've seen this on each end of the floor for Texas A&M and for Kentucky. There has to be someone on the floor that has an eye on the shot clock. It's really unacceptable to not get a shot off, and there's player ownership that has to be taken on the floor in those moments.
Pitts, her second three of the half. A&M ping-pongs back on top. Inside. Boy, that was a tough catch for Hunt.
Even tougher shot.
Pitts, same spot, same result.
You got to find Destiny Pitts. She is one of the best three-point shooters on the floor. She just hit one. She's been lighting it up in the second half. You have to know where she is.
Hitting 40% on the season from outside. Her third three of the half. Good defense by Roby. Now Pitts on the run. Gary Blair directing traffic.
I don't think Hoppy needs a screen right here.
Drew a foul.
Well, Destiny Pitts struggled in the first half, but she is heating up in the second half. A contested three, and then in transition, nobody even aware of where she is on the floor, hits it from the same spot.
2 shots now for Hoppy, where she is 3 for 3 from the line. ACC Big 12 Monday doubleheader, men's basketball. It's Virginia and Duke. And then number 10 Kansas squaring off against number 23 Texas at the Irwin Center. Both games on the app and on ESPN coming up on Big Monday tomorrow. Ryan Howard's team down 3. That's a dangerous pass. Way too many black jerseys around.
And again, when you're holding it for that long, everybody sees it coming. Defense is able to set up.
Wells called for the charge. That is the third on the super senior. Coming off a career-high 30 points against Arkansas. Her team up 3, timeout in Lexington.
Quick score update. AZ Fudd has 14 points and is 4 of 6 from the three-point line in this ball game as the Huskies are in command heading into the fourth, 55-36.
Since the first quarter, they're 28%. Thank you very much, and welcome back. Here's our game summary as we go inside 5 minutes to go. Ryan Howard, just 10 points on 4 of 10 shooting, and you see the second half scoring. Kentucky, since the first quarter, has hit only 28% of its shots. A&M, twice as many threes, in large part because of Destiny Pitts, who has 3 of them here in this half.
Well, and this bodes well for Texas A&M. In their wins, they've shot at nearly 45% from the three-point line. It's a good thing for them that Pitt has gotten going in the second half.
Howard with another miss. Kentucky scored 26 points in that first half. They've only scored 20 since.
And Pam, you know, Kyrie Elsie was talking to us about Ryan Howard and sort of her growth and development offensively, and getting to the rim was one of them. She has 0 free throw attempts today.
Right.
Everything has been a jump shot. As Pitts hits another 3, you can't let her get loose.
Guard number 3. Pitts. That was a long 2.
So the previous shots under review to determine whether it's a 2-pointer or a 3-pointer.
Yeah, and just to go back, Kentucky had 26 points in the first quarter, only 20 since. And Destiny Pitts was scoreless in the first half. 0 of 4, so let's take a look. Was this a 2 or a 3?
It's tough for us to tell from that angle.
Even with those striking pink sneakers, three-point line moved back a little bit this year in women's basketball. It was called a 2 on the floor.
Yeah, either way, those two angles, it's tough to tell.
It'll be tough to overturn.
After review, the ruling on the court is confirmed 2 points.
All right, so a long 2 for Destiny Pitts, but it has given A&M its biggest lead of the game at 5. They were down by 12 back in the first quarter. Big smile from Destiny. And the 3 ball, and you mentioned it, when they hit threes, Texas A&M has a tendency to win more ball games, and a big difference in the 2 halves for them.
There certainly is. You know, 5th in the nation in 3-point field goal percentage. And Destiny Pitts did not hit 1 in the first half, so she's getting going in the second half. It's a good thing for A&M.
Meanwhile, Kentucky's offense has been stuck in neutral for a while now.
And this is what we've seen from Kentucky. You know, it's up and down, the inconsistencies. Their defense is not giving them opportunities to win ball games like it has in the past. So they've got to find ways to score. And, you know, Ryan Howard does a great job of getting in and trying to get an offensive rebound putback. And that's the thing, when your shot's not falling, you have to find other ways to score. You know, right now, I don't feel like Kentucky's in a rhythm offensively. I feel like everything that they're doing is disjointed and one-on-one. But when Ryan Howard has gotten the ball and she's been settling for jump shots, this is a good opportunity. Get offensive rebound putbacks. Get some layups, attack the rim, or get to the foul line and get some easy buckets.
Her first free throws of the afternoon. Got a women's basketball doubleheader coming up for you on Thursday. Tennessee, who right now is losing big to UConn, taking on Missouri, and then it's Georgia, LSU. Lloyd Kim Mulkey coaches there. Both of these great games are over on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. And kind of surprising when we glanced during that last time out at the UConn-Tennessee score.
Yeah, it was surprising, and you know, certainly a great opportunity for fans to see the rivalry in action again. But Tennessee struggled a little bit over the last few ball games.
UConn up by 16 in the fourth quarter in that game. Kyra Elzy, we talked to her yesterday. The enthusiasm is there. She's trying to stay positive. She's insisting that, you know, brighter days are on the horizon. But this has been a very atypical season. And she talked about, when we asked her if it was her toughest season, she's like, no, because Kentucky's had some tough ones. They had 1 year where a lot of players transferred out at the pretty much at the same time, going through some pains in other ways. But she's confident that they can turn things around, if not this year, certainly next year. They have a point guard prospect coming in they're very excited about. But this has got to be tough.
Yeah, and she mentioned it. Like, the expectations here are to win, and we have expectations to win. You know, it's always easy, I think, from the outside looking in. And Pam, what these coaches have done over the last 2 seasons, coaching through the pandemic and, you know, all of the obstacles that they've had to overcome, injuries and COVID issues, as Ryan Howard hits a 3 right there. You know, it's the daily grind is tough. And Kyra Elzy feels very good about approaching this one day and one game at a time. She has one of the best players in the country, if not the best, on her roster right now. This team just needs to put it together from a chemistry standpoint on both ends of the floor.
And that shot by Howard had a lot of people here at Memorial Coliseum on their feet.
Well, out of bounds play. You can't lose Ryan Howard. She does a good job of catching, letting it fly, knocking it in.
Her third 3 of the afternoon, but then a foul on Ryan on the other end sends Kadasha Hoppe to the line, or Q as she is known, from Staten Island. Again, Ryan, all 5 first half points came in the first quarter. Not one shot taken by her in the second quarter, which is inexcusable. Right?
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, she's the best player on the floor. She's got to have the ball in her hands, and not even just the 0 shot attempts. She didn't hardly touch the ball in the second quarter. And you've got to find a way to play through her, even if she's not initiating offense.
There she is, but that's a tough place to catch it, isn't it? Right there on the sidelines. You got trapped right away. Massengill to Hunt. Took steps.
Good defense by A&M. I like the trap off of that play. It's anytime there's an Iverson cut and the ball's delivered a little bit late, that offensive player is going to be on the sideline, and that Iverson cut is a perfect opportunity on that pass to go double.
Turnover number 20 for Kentucky. 2 minutes to go. Massengill with the turnover and then a foul before King went in for the bucket. Now the officials getting together to decide what to do with this foul call.
Well, you know, Pam, in the WNBA, they have the clear path rule. So
yep.
if you foul and the clear path rule is established.
Is an intentional foul on Texas A&M, and we're looking if anything else happened after that.
Yeah, the call on the play is intentional foul right here. You'll see Hoppy going to foul Jasmine Massengill, and probably wouldn't have been called intentional if there wasn't the extension of the arms trying to stop the transition, but that last bit of extension right there is probably what got her. I mean, it's one thing to stop a transition break with a foul. Sometimes that's a really smart play, but you can't go with the extended 2 arms.
After review, the ruling on the court stands as an intentional foul. It'll be 2 shots for anybody for Kentucky, and then Kentucky gets the ball on the side out, 30 seconds on the shot clock.
I mean, this could be a big momentum-changing play right here for Kentucky.
Number 2, the first and the team fourth.
So the 2 free throws and the ball. Howard just 1 of 2 on that trip. Just a 2-point ball game with 2:03 left to go. Just an intentional foul, not upgraded at all. Another chance for the Cats. King trying to get it inside. Edwards dribbled right into trouble. And the possession arrow in favor of the Aggies.
Pam, this is an example again of Kentucky just understanding what are you trying to get offensively. You know, if anybody's going to pound the basketball, it needs to be Ryan Howard, right? To be able to create something. But what are you trying to get? She has to get a touch every time. She doesn't have to shoot every time, but she has to get a touch.
Hoppy with the drive, wouldn't go in, rebound Howard.
Go.
And she does get it up to Massengill. A contact and an offensive foul on Edwards, drawn by Jordan Nixon.
We've seen about, what, 5 of these today?
At least.
Jordan Nixon just gets in the line of Edwards, and, you know, I don't like that play. I mean, it's a call that you make on the floor, but it's very, very difficult. You've got post players running the floor in transition, looking for the basketball. I mean, that's a tough play.
Wells cut off by Howard in a huge offensive possession. Inside a minute to go. 2-point lead for the Aggies. Nixon inside. Roby, tough shot. Wouldn't go in. Foul against A&M.
And Kayla Wells looking to get in for an offensive rebound and just plows into Ryan Howard. It looks like Ryan Howard also maybe got tripped up by Destiny Pitts right there. But it's the extended arm that gets her.
So Kayla Wells has fouled out of the game. With 53 seconds left to go. She leaves with 7 points, which is 10 below her season average. And there's a look at Kelly Bond White in the pink sweater, the right-hand person, if you will, who has been with Coach Blair for many years and who he would like to see be his heir apparent and replace him as the head coach, and I'm on board with that.
Well, Kelly Bond has been in the game for a long time, and she's had opportunities to go other places and has stayed with Gary Blair, and certainly deserving of an opportunity to be a head coach at Texas A&M.
Howard gets them both. And we have got ourselves a tie ball game. 53-53, which happened with 53 seconds left. A lot of fans on their feet. Rebound. And then fouled in the backcourt by Hoppy.
That wasn't a smart defensive play in the backcourt and tie ball game.
Wow. So second one on Hoppy. Both teams in the bonus, and it sends Ryan Howard right back to the free throw line to try to get Kentucky the lead. And she does just that. Game where UK led by as many as 12. And then A&M came back with the strong third quarter. Ryan Howard with her 7th double-double of the season, hits them both. She's got 18 points, 10 rebounds, and most importantly, has given Kentucky the lead.
And we talked about it in the third quarter. Ryan Howard had not had a free throw attempt in the ball game, and boy, down the stretch, she's been able to knock them in. Big free throws for Kentucky. And look, Texas A&M coming out of the last offensive possession, I thought that action was really good. Jordan Nixon got the switch. She got going downhill. No, it was a tough finish. I thought she had an easier finish. But if you run that action again and have Destiny Pitts opposite her on that help side, you got a wide open three. I like that action, and I think they can get some good stuff out of it.
Ryan Howard, 5 points in the first quarter, no shots in the second quarter, 14 points here in the second half, and this is a personal 9-point run for Howard. She scored UK's last 9 points.
Well, she doesn't have to wait till the fourth quarter,
No.
Pam. I mean, Ryan Howard, you know, she's one of the best offensive players in the country. There's no doubt about it. Was slow going in the first 3 quarters and has gotten herself to the foul line, got easy opportunities that way here in the fourth quarter, and has really been the offensive firepower in this run for Kentucky.
2-point lead. Inside, Roby able to score over Ryan Howard. she might have had a little word for Ryan after that bucket. 2 points, tying it up. So shot clock is off for Kentucky.
And that was terrific out-of-timeout execution. It really was. Understanding what you're going to get. Kentucky was switching on the handoffs, and just a really good read coming back to the basketball. But look, on this handoff, they have to switch. Now, where's the advantage? That advantage is inside. Roby does such a good job. Look at her just backing in to get 2 feet in the paint and the strong finish. Really good execution. Good decision by Pitts. I was a little worried when she picked it up in the corner right there, but a good job of delivering the pass, and Roby with a tough finish.
Ryan Howard with her 7th double-double of the year. A&M outscoring Kentucky by a dozen in this half. And Ryan Howard with a strong 4th quarter. And now a chance. Women's basketball, you can advance the ball after the timeout. They have done that. And let's see what Kentucky is going to do with it. Ryan Howard must touch the basketball.
I don't know, if you're Kentucky, you want to get the last shot. You don't want to give A&M an opportunity to get the ball back. You want to get the last shot and either score or go to overtime, and on your home floor.
Massengill with the ball. Sahara Jones guarding Ryan Howard, gets the screen. Howard picks up her dribble, and a timeout taken by Kentucky.
Yeah, good timeout by Kyra Elzy. You didn't like what you got. Ryan Howard picked up the dribble, didn't have anywhere to go with it. Again, you want to make sure you get the last shot, but you got to get a shot. So good timeout by Kyra Elzy.
There you see Gail Gestencours, one of the assistants, along with Nia Butts and Amber Smith. And let's take a look at the reset. No more timeouts for Kentucky.
So no more timeouts, you mentioned it. So the most important thing is getting the ball in bounds, making sure that you have multiple options. You would expect A&M to switch here, make it difficult.
And just to clarify, both teams are in the bonus. That graphic showed a foul to give for each team. That's not right. So any foul will send whichever team to the free throw line. Kentucky losers of 6 of their last 7, trying to get this victory. Their next game, South Carolina's coming in. That will be a toughie.
That will be a toughie.
Yes. But right now, they're concentrating on winning this game. Ryan Howard and her teammates with just over 5 seconds. And remember, no Kentucky timeouts. Massengill with the inbound. Howard, gotta go, backs up. Picks up her dribble, throws it up for the win, hits the front of the rim, and we are going to overtime, tied up at 55, OT on the way.
I like the double team.
We welcome you to overtime, presented by... Here we go, free basketball. 5 minutes put back on the clock. Texas A&M with Jordan Nixon running the point. And the drive, nicely done by Patty. That's her first points since the first half. Has been a defensive presence for the Aggies. Howard looking for some help, far away from the basket. Emma King. Shot clock winding down for Hunt. She needs to shoot. Pitts draws another charge. 4 fouls now on Hunt. A&M has been living off drawing what has been called offensive fouls on Kentucky. Inside, deflected by Massengill. Picked up, and Nixon, after she picked it up, was fouled on her way to the basket.
Jordan Nixon saved that possession. A&M is establishing the last 3 possessions that they're going to get post touches. It's gone inside, a double team came, and on the deflection, Jordan Nixon could have just waited for it to come to her. She saved the possession, went to get the basketball.
That is the 4th foul on King. And now Jordan Nixon heads to the free throw line. Her first trip. %80 on the season from the line. Nixon gets them both. And it is a 4-point lead for the Aggies. Down by as many as a dozen in the first half. This would be their biggest comeback win of the season if they can complete it. Third foul on Hoppy. And it sends Jasmine Massengill to the line. Gary Blair on his last trip into Lexington as head coach of Texas A&M, trying to come away with a win.
And Texas A&M is playing this overtime without Kayla Wells, without their leading scorer who went to the bench, fouling out of this ball game.
And Massengill just over 50% from the line on the season. 1 for 2 on that trip, 1 for 3 overall. Does get the lead back to 3. Hoppy inside, and Patty was able to get away from Edwards.
Really good execution by A&M. You can tell again in the huddle, Gary Blair talking about getting post-entry passes. Let's use this to our advantage. We're talking about a team that shoots the 3 very well. And right now, executing down the stretch to perfection as Edwards gets a 2.
Good look for Dreana Edwards. 3 minutes to go in overtime. And then the jumper by Nixon.
Just picking apart the switches. Every switch on the on-ball screen, A&M picking it apart, getting it inside when the mismatch is there. Post player backs off, Jordan Nixon knocks down the pullout.
Nixon with 14. Owens can't get it to go. Big rebound for Pitts. Pitts 3 is off the mark, and then a rebound on A&M on Patty on the rebound attempt. That is the 3rd on her.
Yeah, and right now if you're A&M, you can't afford to send Kentucky to the foul line. Defensively, A&M has done a pretty good job of making things difficult, but you don't want to give them free opportunities with no time running off the clock here in overtime.
If you're going to foul somebody statistically anyway, Owens is a good choice. 43% on the season coming in. Hoppy getting in for the rebound. Nursing a 4-point lead as we go to 2 minutes left in OT. Left wide open. That shot was missed by Sahara Jones. But the ball stays with A&M. Coming in for Owens. Pitts catches, puts up the three and nails it. Destiny Pitts with not even a second's hesitation put it up and it went in, and A&M's 7-point lead is their biggest of the game.
This is what she does, Pam. There's no hesitation. Really good execution. Underneath, out of bounds, and it's the little things. It's the little things. You have to switch with urgency if you're going to switch defensively and you're Kentucky. Destiny Pitt takes advantage of it.
17 points for Pitts is just one off her season high. She had 18 at LSU. A&M taking things over here in OT.
Yeah, they've been terrific. Their execution has been exactly where Gary Blair wants it to be. They've gotten post touches, gone to work inside. Very disciplined and detailed in their looks offensively here in overtime. And then you get the switch, and Jordan Nixon says, "Nuh-uh, Olivia Owens, you're going to back off me. I'm going to knock this down." And out of bounds execution. There's no urgency in that switch. If you're going to switch, you have to have urgency. You want to do it to deny, not allow an easy pass and a shot opportunity by one of the best three-point shooters in the SEC.
And do you know who is not taking a shot in overtime for Kentucky?
Ryan Howard.
That is a true fact. Ryan Howard has a double-double. She scored 12 of their 14 points in the fourth quarter. Has not taken a shot here in overtime. And goodness, right now Kentucky is really behind it.
And look, it's tricky when teams are going to play Ryan Howard. They're going to deny her. They're going to face guard her. They're going to double her, probably even triple her, and dare everyone else to score. In the first quarter, everyone else was scoring for Kentucky. They haven't been in this ballgame. Jada Walker has not been back in this ballgame since she was injured earlier. So you have to get creative and find different ways to get Ryan Howard touches. And she has to take some ownership of being a little bit more assertive and aggressive with getting the basketball.
That's a really good point. They have been missing Jada Walker, who is the only freshman on this team, has certainly been very important to their offense. Massengill running the point. Howard trying to get the ball.
And you're not working hard enough right there if you're Ryan Howard. I think she's got to demand the basketball. She's got the mismatch.
Again, yeah, Hoppy is guarding her. He was 3 or 4 inches shorter than Ryan.
And not nearly as strong.
No.
I mean, Ryan Howard really worked this offseason to get stronger, to get leaner.
And we talked about this earlier with Rebecca Lobo, and you were giving Ryan all the A-pluses for all of her abilities, the possible, or if not probable, overall first-round pick in the draft. But
the out of bounds is under review right now, and we have it Kentucky ball.
But it's the intangibles like that, right? Wanting to go get the ball, give me the ball.
Yeah, and just consistent sense of urgency. You know, I would say is just. Look, she is naturally one of the most gifted players in the country, and you see the replay right here going out of bounds. Did she get it thrown off of Jordan Nixon? It looks like it to me.
Yes, but if it hit Ryan out of bounds, right?
Yeah. The question is, where does it hit? Right? Yeah, it looks like it's still in bounds right there. Yep, and then it hits her.
So a heads-up play by Howard to try to save it, but the ball hits inbounds.
It does. Yes, it does.
Gets a piece of Ryan. You see the ball will change direction. So I'll say it's A&M's ball.
Yeah, when you can see the ball bounce back inbounds off of Jordan Nixon and then hit Ryan Howard.
Officials still glancing at the replays. A&M going home their next 2 games against Vanderbilt and LSU. And we mentioned Kentucky will welcome in South Carolina on Thursday night. That's going to be an ESPN game. Yep.
After review, the call was reversed. Texas A&M ball. Clock's going to be set to 1:32.
And fortunately, you have the benefit of being able to utilize the replay right there to make sure that you get that call right. Good job by the officials.
And they also, when they do reviews, make sure that the clock is where it should be as well, which sometimes leads to a further delay than one might expect. Foul in the backcourt. Remember, everybody's in the bonus, but what an overtime this has been for A&M. Patty with a couple of buckets and that just unconscious three thrown up by Pitts. A good win for A&M.
Yeah, it certainly will be. I think that you look at the execution and Texas A&M just being really intentional about who's getting the ball, when they're getting the ball, and where they're getting the ball in this overtime, and have been executing really well.
No Blair Green all season. Robin Benton still out with the ankle injury for Kentucky. And then when you lose Jada Walker, who did not play in the second half, I mean, at times sometimes looks like a rudderless ship out there for Kentucky. Who's going to be the leader? Who's going to consistently get the ball to Ryan Howard and get it where it needs to be?
Yeah, and I think the word consistency is the key, right? They have, the only consistency Kentucky has had is that they don't know who's playing when, right? Like, so that has been a challenge. There's no question about it. But the consistency of energy, effort, and execution to the game plan has to be there with whoever is on the floor.
Massengill, tough shot, got fouled with 1:10 to go. Much to Gary Blair's chagrin. First foul on Nixon. Gary Blair winning the national championship back in 2011. Took Stephen F. Austin and Arkansas into the tournament. Arkansas, that Cinderella team back in 1998. He said that was one of his favorite teams, one of his favorite years, taking them all the way to the Final Four.
And one of his favorite players, and Christy Smith, who played for him in Arkansas. He was play-by-playing before the game that this is where Christy Smith tore her ACL, and he was showing me exactly where it was, and that she came back in just a little over 4 months because of she's such a hard worker.
Yeah, his memory is amazing.
Man, he's forgotten so much more than we've ever known.
Full court press here for Kentucky with time running out. Howard has to reach in and grab Nixon. Only the second on Ryan. Double doubles today for Ryan Howard and Edwards. Edwards with 10 and 10. Triana for Kentucky, but A&M with Nixon at the line. And as Coach Blair goes into retirement, he said about his legacy, I did it the right way. He wants people to remember that without a lot of fanfare. And he said, I didn't duck playing people.
Yeah, that's right. Even in the lean years, I mean, he has rebuilt every program he's been involved in. Even in the lean years, he was trying to play the best, challenging his team to get to where they want to go.
And in his 37 years as a head coach in college women's basketball, he had one losing season. That was his first year at A&M, 03-04, when they went 9-19, and he said that was one of his favorite seasons as well. And he enjoys that process of building not just a team, but a program. And he certainly has done that. Team that won the SEC regular season championship last year, lost in the Sweet 16 in the tournament. But his stamp and his legacy certainly all over that A&M program. And Kelly Bond White, if she can continue that, would be great way to continue his legacy down in College Station. Massengill trying to find somebody. Howard finally gets a shot. Goes in and out, and that's a chance for a three-point play for Leveretter.
It's a good hustle play by Leveretter to get on the offensive glass, to get the ball up there.
Now a sophomore from Blythewood, South Carolina. Missed the first 5 games this season with a non-COVID related illness. Does indeed get the three-point play.
Texas A&M.
Coach Blair decides to take a timeout with just under 34 seconds left to go.
30 seconds.
Wants to use this opportunity to advance the basketball. Certainly an added benefit in the women's game to advance it offensively, and he doesn't want to take it out on the other end. Try to go 94 feet for sure.
A&M outscoring Kentucky 16-9 in this overtime period. They had 19 points in the third quarter. That's the only quarter in which they had more than a 16 that they have scored here in 4.5 minutes of overtime.
They've done a better job defensively too. I mean, certainly you see in moments where they're face guarding Ryan Howard, where they're forcing other players to step up and make plays. They've taken a number of charges in this ball game, and Gary Blair talked about, I didn't like the fact that our team was near the worst in the league on the defensive end of the floor, and they've begun to get better and better as the season progresses.
Yeah, usually one of the better defensive teams. Bob Starkey was his de facto defensive coordinator for several years.
And then Big Schaefer.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
Who was the minister of defense when he was at A&M with Gary Blair.
Texas with that double against Baylor this weekend. Lost on Friday, playing them very shortly back in Austin. Big game for both teams as we look towards the NCAA tournament. Texas A&M going to come away with their biggest comeback win of the season. Their previous biggest deficit overcome was 11 against the Coyotes of South Dakota. They were down a dozen in this one, and they come back to win it by the final of 73-64. And a couple of coaches with a lot of respect for each other. Coach Elzy shaking Gary Blair's hand, perhaps for the last time, as he comes into Lexington in his final season. But a good win. They just came out, as you mentioned, in overtime, a lot more aggressive offensively. And Pitts with the big shot, and they lead